So I got a part-time job working in a hotel on the south coast in Ireland, and started off cleaning floors, and I loved it.
You cannot come to the Jamaica Pegasus and not meet the general manager, Peter Hilary. He's hands-on, he's out and about, and he's such a wonderful soul. But did you know that he lived in 9 different countries and actually worked his way up from cleaning the floors to being the general manager that we know of him today? This week he shares his inspiring story on the Trailblazers. Peter Hilary has worked in the hospitality industry for decades, starting out as a youngster. Born in Ireland, he has lived and worked in several countries across the globe at various hotels and more. His journey began at the bottom of the ladder, but he has risen to the top in sheer determination and class. Despite meeting and working with very influential persons throughout his career, Mr. Hilary has remained humble and is known for his hard work, commitment, dedication, and attention to details. Hotels that he has worked with have gained major awards and recognition under his leadership. He has worked at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel for many years and served in the capacity as general manager for several years. Mr. Hilary is often seen on the grounds meeting guests, walking the property to ensure everything is in place, and just making sure everyone, no matter their position or title, is at ease and feels welcome. As a result, he is loved by both visitors and staff. As the outgoing general manager, we applaud his accomplishments and happy to feature him fittingly as a trailblazer. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Tamara.
Thank
Nice
you.
to be here.
All right, so as I mentioned in my intro just now, you are known. You know, there is no way that you can come to Pegasus and not see Mr. Hilary making the rounds. And I like that, actually. It shows the kind of manager that you are. So tell us, how is it that you began your experience in terms of working in the hotel sector?
It all started when I was at school in Ireland. At school, we used to get 3, sometimes almost 4 months of summer vacation. And I used to get very, very bored. There's only so many footballs you can kick. So I got a part-time job working in a hotel on the south coast in Ireland, and started off cleaning floors, and I loved it. Then next year I was promoted, and I worked in the bar serving tables and clearing drinks. And then again next year I went back 4 consecutive years, and I did kitchen, I did lobby, I did toilet cleaning, I did basically everything.
Wow.
But what I loved the interaction with the guests when you got an opportunity of seeing them. I actually like people. Sometimes some people don't make it easy to like them, but generally I like people, and so that's I continued. Yeah.
That's very interesting though, because people would see you as the general manager now and would not know that your story started from something as simple as cleaning the floors. So how is it then that you managed to work your way up to where you are today?
Well, there's several ways one can do it. One can go to college and one can get a degree, and then one comes out and one's got all these ideas and textbook stories about how things should be done. And then you come out and then you realize that the big world isn't exactly like that. I decided to do it the other way. I decided to get into the hotel business and work my way up. So I worked in kitchens for 2 years. I was a chef both in Paris and in London.
Yes.
I then, when I finished in the kitchens, I then became a waiter. Then I became a bartender.
Wow.
And then I began working at the front desk, and then I just progressed, learning every single aspect of it, which I found to be very beneficial because, for example, the chef, not necessarily the chef here, because chef here, McKayle, is amazing good, but chefs will try and kind of fool you, BS you into saying, this and the other, but having worked in a kitchen, I know how to cook. So no one, even the head housekeeper, can't tell me how to, that I don't know how to make a bed because I've made beds.
Wow, that is amazing. And I think that's very critical for anyone who is a leader, that they know the different levels of
Yeah.
the organization that they're working with or the sector that they're working with.
Correct,
Because
and they're also not afraid to show people that they know what they're doing. So I have no problem in serving tables or clearing tables. I've got no problem if housekeeping is busy, going and helping in bedrooms. I've got no problem in doing any job because I've done most of them. And
Wow.
I like to be a part of the team. I don't like sitting in my office. Office work, desk work,
Yes.
bores me. I like being out and about, and yeah.
And I think that's why you do so well at it, because the truth is, as I said, generally we normally see you making the rounds, finding out from persons if everything is okay, and that's very good, because I think that actually helps to keep the hotel or the organizations in general in good standing. So kudos to that.
Thank you.
But at the top of the interview, actually before the interview, we were, talking a bit, and you mentioned that you've lived in 9 different countries. Tell us about that.
Well, when the second hotel company I worked for was a company called Trust Houses 40, which is, or THF, which then became the 40 Hotel Group. And they were, at that stage, they had, I think, 900 hotels worldwide. And I was single, and I wanted to explore. And I made sure that whatever property I was in, I was noticed, because I wanted to see the world.
Yes.
So I was working in London at the time, and I was working as assistant banqueting manager, I believe, at the Hyde Park Hotel in London.
Wow.
And I saw on the THF circular that they were looking for a banqueting manager at Jamaica Pegasus.
Wow.
They used to manage this hotel. In fact, they were part owners at one stage. And so in 1976, I think it was, I first came over to Jamaica.
Nice.
It was fun times. It was when there was a lot of political upheaval here, a lot of fighting between the various parties and fractions. It was the Manly Siaga era. I remember coming in from the airport amid cars on fire, and I could hear
Wow.
gunshot and airplanes or helicopters with searchlight going all over the place. And I thought, wow, this wasn't quite what I
Exactly.
envisaged.
What a welcome.
But I was here, I arrived, and I immediately loved the island.
Yes.
Love the people. The Irish, the Jamaicans and the Irish are very, very similar. We both like to have fun. We both like to laugh. We both like to have a drink every now and then. We both like to dance. We both just enjoy social life. And I came over here, and I immediately felt at home.
Yes.
Immediately. And so I stayed for 2 years, and then after that the company said to me, Peter, we have an opening in the Bahamas, we want you to go over and we want you to work there. And then I was in the Bahamas, and they said, listen, we got an opening in Tunisia, North Africa, we want you to go and be general manager in North Africa.
Wow.
Which again was a totally different experience.
Yes.
When you're dealing with the hotel was like out in the suburbs. Hardly anyone lived anywhere near us, so we had to get in Bedouins to train in the hotel business. So a lot of them arrived on camels. There wasn't any transportation.
Wow.
A lot of them didn't know what electricity was. A lot of them didn't have running water. So it was very interesting. It was just a fun time, and from there the company transferred me here, there, and everywhere, and so that's how I've worked in all these countries.
Amazing. And I mean, so out of all of those countries though, which one is your favorite?
Well, the fact that I'm back here, and I've been back here for 9 years, hopefully speaks for
Itself.
And even when I worked in Africa, and I worked in France, and I worked in the Bahamas or all over the Caribbean, I always came back to Jamaica every year. I came back for vacation. I have loads of friends here. The friendships that one makes in Jamaica are really sincere. They're not just fleeting, passing moments. I have got hundreds of friends here, and have had for years, and I've always kept in touch with them. And wherever I've gone, they've come and joined me. So If I've gone, when I went to Tunisia, there was 8 of them all came for, and spent 2 weeks there. So I've been fortunate.
Oh, that's amazing, Mr. Hilary. So what would you compare the hotel sector back then to now? How has it transitioned and changed over the years?
It has transitioned in several ways. Technology plays a huge part now. God knows, in '74 they had I think just invented the calculator. But nowadays, you know, with computers and online booking and social media and different type of ovens that you in fact cook with, different types of ways of heating, different ways of serving, walk-in refrigerators. There was all this that there wasn't around then. So it certainly has sort of got better and better and better and better. And you know, the hotel business, you're constantly learning.
Yes.
You have to know new things. When I came in, I was interviewing for this job, because I've always wanted to come back. Kevin Hendrickson, the owner, said to me, "What do you know about rational ovens?" And fortunately, I knew a little bit, but I'd never worked with them.
Yes.
But you know, these are new type of ovens where you put whatever you want in there, and you press a button, and you say you want it ready in 12 hours, you want it in 2 hours, and it comes out absolutely perfectly.
Yes.
Whereas before it was a matter of watching everything and cooking and turning and basting and turning and prodding, and there's the new technology makes a lot of difference.
How important is it to love what you do? Because clearly what you love, you know, your passion from a youngster to now has taken you across the world. You've lived in different countries. You've had the experience of a lifetime. So how important is that in any career that you do, to love what you do?
I have always said to people, if you don't like what you're doing, don't do it, because you won't be good at it. I love my job. I'm blessed that I enjoy coming to work every day. I love coming here. I love the people that I work with. I love all the staff here at Pegasus. I love most of the guests who come in here. Some of them are a little bit difficult, but then again, that's why we're here. We can't pick and choose of the guests. We need to make them all comfortable. But I do have a passion for my job, and as you say, it certainly makes it easier. You know, the staff who work here and the students that I mentor, and I sort of say, please don't do this because it's a job.
Yes.
Because if it's just a job, you're not going to do it as well as something that you love.
So, Mr. Hilary, what has been the most challenging experience of your career so far, and how did you deal with that, whatever it is?
I suppose the most challenging would be like hurricanes in the Bahamas when I was there. I forget which hurricane it was now, because God knows I've lived through sort of many of them. But and having to deal with the guests and making sure that the guests understand the severity of the situation, and that they, you know, obey the rules and they don't go outside. We had one person in the Bahamas who went out onto the beach and onto the deck. We had this huge boat dock, and
What?
and he was a German photographer, and he was taking photographs, and it was in the height of the hurricane, and we looked outside, and he was holding on for dear life onto the thing. So a group of 20 of us had to go out arm in arm and just go and rescue him and bring him back in. But people find like hurricanes very novel, so they want to go by windows and they want to take photographs of debris flying all over the place.
Yes.
Whereas that's obviously something you shouldn't do. So getting people to come in and locking people in the ballroom, for example, where there are no windows, and just saying, listen, this will go over in a couple of hours.
That's an interesting story. On the flip side, though, what has been the most rewarding experience for you to date?
Personally, I think leaving the hotels in a better state than when I got there. Having contributed something to the hotel, making sure that the staff are better trained, leaving everything in a better spot. I've always found very, very gratifying. I do happen to fall in love with any hotel that I'm working in, and you do get very attached to the people that you work with. So I know when I leave here, I'm going to be a mess, because the staff here, everyone had been part of my life, part of my family. Yes. I got a feeling I'll be back. I can never leave this island for too long. But in the short term, I'm going to go over to the States. Both of my kids are fairly grown up now. They're in their 20s. Both of them live around the DC area. So I'm going to position myself a little closer to them. I'm blessed that they still like me, and we sort of get on well together. So we talk every week, and they're looking forward to my being closer.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's very nice. At the same time, though, you mentioning your kids, was that difficult for you to, in a sense, be in another part of the world working while they're somewhere else? How did you manage that?
Well, no, for a lot of the time when they were growing up, we were based in New York. I owned a couple of bars in New York, and so I was there for, I want to say, 18 years in the New York area. New York, and then we moved down to Washington D.C. and I ran a group of hotels over there. So I was around them until they went to college.
Okay.
So it was when they started to go to college, and then there is that natural separation anyway.
Yes, yes.
And then I took the option of, coming back to Jamaica.
Mr. Hilary, we see how the world has shifted due to COVID, the pandemic. I know the hotel sector was largely hit. How did it impact, for example, the Pegasus, and how do you think, the sector in general can pivot for the future ahead?
Jamaica has handled this situation exceptionally well, and even now they're still sort of restricting and demanding quarantine and all this sort of stuff. I think is admirable. A lot of the hotels are suffering because of it, and they want the government to be less restrictive. I would be in no hurry to become another Florida, like what's happening over there.
Exactly.
We don't want a big resurgence. Yes, businesses have suffered. Yes, businesses need to open back up again, which we're doing. But it needs to be done slowly and intelligently. The Pegasus of 6 months ago was full. Every meeting room was full every single day. All our bedrooms were full. I think we ran 85% occupancy for the year, which was extraordinary.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden COVID happened, and I like to call the Pegasus the doyen of Jamaica, but it's kind of sad the way that things are at the moment compared to what they were 6 months ago. But fortunately, we've got a phenomenal owner. Yes. The Pegasus has stayed open, yes. And it is admirable the loyalty that he has for everyone working for him.
Yes, Mr. Hendrickson.
Kevin Hendrickson, God bless him.
Indeed. Shifting the focus back to you a bit, what inspires you? What motivates you? Because you have this drive, and it's evident even in how you speak. So what pushes you to keep going and going?
I'm not sure. I've wanted to always be promoted. I've always wanted to be recognized for doing a good job. I knew I wanted to go and I wanted to manage a bigger hotel. The only way I could do that by making a very good success of the one that I did before. There was no hotel that I was at, I think, where I could say that I failed. Some hotels were more difficult than others. But no, I constantly am pushing myself. I don't like being idle. I don't like not having stuff to do. And I like when it's busy, and I like when the staff are busy, and I like when everyone's making more money because they're getting service charge, and so it is a whole team.
Speaking of making money, Because the Trailblazers is not just only about hearing the inspirational stories, but also getting some practical tips. And for our viewers who may be interested in becoming better, becoming a success in their careers, becoming better stewards of their money and their finances, do you have any tips or any suggestions that you want to share?
No, only just make sure that, I've always said, I'm the first in my office every morning, I'm the last person to leave my office at night time. I have never left my job before my boss, ever. And this was the whole way growing up. When I was just working at the front desk, I made sure that I was there before my front office manager. When I was assistant front office manager, I made sure that I was there before the general manager, before the front office manager. I always worked harder. I wanted to be a general manager. The only way to be a general manager is to be noticed. Yes. And to be noticed by hard work, by offering to do other stuff. Just don't sit and just don't do your job and take your money and go home. But you want to sort of go to someone else and say, listen, I've never worked in your department. On my day off, can I go and work in your department? I want to find out what it's like. Mm-hmm. You want to show people that you're enthusiastic, that you're eager. And then when opportunities come up, people say, oh, remember Peter Hilary there? No, he's like his style, like his spirit. Let's do something with him.
Yeah, I like that. It's about getting involved and being more than just a regular employee there.
Correct. Mm-hmm. There's no. I believe that you can be anything you want to be, and I tell people this the whole time, and people do not believe me. Mm-hmm. When I was working in the States, I used to go to Ireland, and I go, okay, who wants to come and work in the States? And I'd go to colleges.
Yes.
And say, come on, I'm going to bring you over to the States. And they'd all go, yeah, we want to go to the States. But when the final thing came to them signing the piece of paper, a lot of them said, no, I'm really comfortable. I don't want to leave my girlfriend, my boyfriend. I don't want to leave home. I'm a little bit scared. I think that you have to push yourself. Mm-hmm. Working in this hotel, which is in my mind the best hotel in Jamaica, getting an opportunity of meeting President Obama.
Wow.
was like a huge honor.
Yes.
I mean, how many people have that opportunity? Meeting the royal family, which of meeting sports stars, celebrities. I mean, it's everything is possible.
Yes, I like that. Everything is possible. And it just speaks to the power of the mindset again, which keeps repeating on the program. So speaking of the power of the mind and believing that everything is possible, how do you then know that you have to make that sacrifice? Because you just mentioned that some persons, when it's time, they back away from the sacrifice. So is it that to be successful, you have to, in any event, make a sacrifice or take a risk or a chance?
I think so. I mean, a lot of people don't necessarily have to have international experience. So, but I had international experience. When I'm interviewing people here for a job at the Pegasus, and I see that they have overseas experience, they will automatically go to the top of the list.
Yes.
Everyone here in Jamaica can get an opportunity of going and working in the States. There are summer programs, there are internships. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you that anyone who goes over there and they work harder than anyone else, mm-hmm. and that means including the Americans, mm-hmm. and that they want to come back again the next year, they can come back again the next year. And if they're really, really good, mm-hmm. the guy is going to apply for a work permit for them. The owner is.
Yes.
So people can do it, and then once they have that, they can go anywhere. They can go to England, they can go anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I think the world is your oyster. You've got to want it.
Yes.
You've got to want it. You want to push yourself. As I mm-hmm. said earlier, if you just want to go to work and do a 9-to-5 job, and it's 9 o'clock, not a clock in, it's 5 o'clock, I'm going to clock out, mm-hmm. and you do the minimum to get by. No one's going to notice you. No one's going to help you. No one's going to promote you, mm-hmm. because you're just
a fly on the wall.
A piece of furniture.
Yes, that's a better description. I like what you said. You've got to want it.
Yeah.
So you've got to go out there. You've got to make it happen. And the thing is, though, unfortunately, a lot of times, especially among the younger generation, they want it, but they don't want to. They don't want to do the work, and they don't want to do what's necessary to take you there. Yeah. So how critical is that to do what is necessary to get what you want?
It is essential. Firstly, and it's not just what you're learning on the job. If you are really interested, you're going to take outside courses. you're going to go online and you're going to get a degree in this, that, and the other. Firstly, you need to be in a career that you really like.
Yes.
And if you really like it and you really are ambitious and you want to get on, then, as I said, you can do anything you want to do. And I refuse to be, well, you know, I don't have any money, I can't do this, I can't do that. I say to these people, BS, you can do anything you want to do.
Yes.
Take a summer job, be really good, apply for again next year. If you're really good, the people are going to take you back again next year.
Yes.
And then once you've done that a couple of times, they're going to want to employ you, if that's what you want to do.
Indeed, indeed. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So you said in a matter of weeks, it would be I'm not going to say the closing, what should I use? The temporary.
Yeah, I'm going to take some time
closure.
off, and I want to relax a bit. I want some Peter time. I want some family time. And then again, I've been here 9 years. We've got a new general manager has now arrived, and I'm working with him over the next 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. He will come in. His name is Zaven Uralian. Mm-hmm. He's a good guy. He's got plenty of experience. He will now come in. He'll bring new ideas into this place, new menu concepts, new way of managing, new way of service. It needs a change, and
Yes.
And he's the right person for it. And so I think it'll be a good thing. Will I come back? I think I will come back in some capacity. I will never stop coming here. I mean, this is a gorgeous country, and but we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I like my final question, or my final two questions. The first one is what you just mentioned in terms of the new general manager coming and you helping him with the ropes. How important is succession planning as a leader, you know, for the next person who takes over?
Well, firstly, you need to when you're interviewing candidates, you need to make sure that they understand what you have done.
Yes.
And that you feel, and you never really know until they work, that they have the ability to bring the job to the next level.
Yes.
When I interview anyone, and not only this previous general manager, although it wasn't my decision, it was Kevin Hendrickson's decision. When I am interviewing everyone, I interview everyone who works at Pegasus, no matter what level they are, what entry level. If they don't make me smile during the interview, they don't get a job.
Wow.
We are in the service industry,
Yes.
and that you have to have the ability to smile.
Yes.
I don't care how good you are. I've always said I can teach anyone to check someone in. I can't teach someone to smile and be caring.
That's true.
So that is what I look for, and for the general manager as well. I'm very big into personal contact. I'm very big into meeting people, greeting people, and so I was looking for, again, someone who I could propose to Mr. Hendrickson, who could do the same thing, who was a front person. As I say, and as you remarked, I'm not an office person.
Yes.
I like being out in front, and Zaven seems to fit that, which is critical in this role.
Yes. And speaking of a smile, because who would have thought that one of the requirements, they don't know it, you know, but you know, one of the requirements for what you are looking for as a general manager, as a leader, is something as simple as a smile. How critical is soft skills, because so often we take those soft skills for granted when those are the things that set us apart. How important is that?
It is vitally important. Everyone makes mistakes. A server will bring the wrong order, a barman will spill a drink, a room attendant will forget to clean up a dirty thing. But if you apologize with a smile, you will get away with anything. If you are willing to accept that you're wrong and show a sincerity which comes with the smile, you can do anything that you want to do.
Yes, yes. And my last question.
You said that 3
I
times
know, but it is my last question. You have, fulfilled your purposes so far in your career and what you desire to do, and you went all the way. You set out that goal from you were a youngster, you accomplished it. For those who are looking on, they may not reach where they want to yet, but they're on that journey. What, last comments would you want to share with them?
Keep at it. Be sincere, be passionate, make sure that you like what you're doing, and prove that you are better than anyone else. If you prove you're better than anyone else, it will work harder than anyone else. It will pay big time, long time. You can do anything you want to do.
Yes. Remember, it will pay big time, long time, and you can do anything that you want to do. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. I learned so much today that I did not know. I've seen you all this time and I didn't even know all of this. So it's definitely a pleasure, and keep on being a trailblazer.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Tamara.
Thank you.